I've been watching this happen for a while now. I just want to make everything 100% clear. It's an absolute fact at this point, Countryhumans are so much more popular than Countryballs. That is the reality we're living in. YouTube channels like StateHumans as well as Zane are racking in millions and millions of views as well as millions and millions of subscribers. Bro, it is on average over 100 million views every single month. This video from only 3 weeks ago got 14 million views. And that's not to say that Countryballs aren't still very popular. I mean, they are, but they're just not pulling in anywhere near the same level of views. So as far as YouTube is concerned, the war is over, and it's been won by Countryhumans. And it's just funny because I've been ringing the alarm bells since like 2020. My first video ever about this subject was all the way back in January of 2020. That's crazy. Now, to be fair, there's been a pretty great rebranding though. I don't think they're quite as, well, risque as they used to be back in the day. Countryhumans, very similarly to Countryballs, started off as just like kind of internet comics or drawing, but in reality, the only reason why you draw a country in a human form is for no reasons. I think I can let you put 2 and 2 together. What kind of no reasons you would need, humans to do? I mean, it wasn't always like rated R stuff, but it was just stuff that was weird. What is this? What? I think the YouTube version, oh, I can't even look at this thing. I think YouTube has definitely done a very good job of like recreating the image to like a better way. To be honest, I've been out here for so long, I don't even think anyone really remembers the origins of Countryhumans, and it's gonna be funny if people continue to not remember. I mean, I'm gonna be there to document the history, don't worry. I mean, at this point, Countryhumans are just Countryballs, just represent countries just in a human form. And the thing is, the animations, see, that's the thing. There is a higher barrier to entry though. The animation needed for stuff like this to cover this, it just requires way more attention to detail. You need to be way better. You don't just have to draw like a circle. So the content itself is actually extremely talented. Like that is a big difference, which makes sense actually why this niche is only dominated by a handful of channels at this point, and why online comics on Countryhumans are still very weird, very niche. I mean, that's the thing with Countryballs. I mean, it's so competitive because there's so many people doing it, and also there's so many different languages that are doing it. I mean, some of the most like popular Countryballs videos every single month are usually not even in English like this, and there's lots of stuff that I can't even cover because of that actually. Not to mention on top of all of this, there's at least like 1,000 different channels that are making Countryballs content at this point. So, I mean, if you're a good animator, it's actually a good time to get into Countryhumans, funny enough. But yeah, it's out of control. No one's gonna be able to stop this trend at this point. That's the realization that I came to. In fact, in the very near future, we might be living in a timeline where Countryhumans will be the far more popular thing. Dare I say that? On different corners of the internet, of course, Countryballs is always gonna dominate like r/Polandball. Like, it's forever going to be very popular for a certain subset in certain corners of the internet. But for the vast majority of YouTube audiences, this is all they're gonna know. This is Squid Games, but for Countryballs. Oh, I love, man, we were literally just talking about the level of animation required here. The little spinning sun over Taiwan's face. Can your country clear this Dalgona game? Is that some, oh, I get it. They're having to draw their face in the coffee or whatever this drink is, soup. Well, of course, Japan's gonna have the easiest. Oh, my bad. It's actually supposed to be a cookie, I guess. Cookie or candy. Oh man, Saudi Arabia, how are you supposed to do this? That is actually really funny. I can't imagine having to draw this in a cookie. Bhutan also be like, guys, we're cooked. Yeah, I'd argue Bhutan might have an even harder job than Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, aliens be like, what? I thought, I'm clearly very confused about Arabic. I can see now it wouldn't be too easy for Taiwan. They might be able to barely eke it out, but yeah, Saudi Arabia, just don't even open it, bro. He really is cooked. No, but for real, like I said earlier, the rebranding of Countryhumans is gonna have to be studied in history because this was incredible. On the same level of the way Japan was able to rebrand after World War II, and now everyone just sees them as the Uwu nation. I don't know what I just tried to do with my hands there. Countries that have changed their names, South Korea looking at Greenland and, oh, that's them change. Okay, this is what we should be doing. We absolutely do, in fact, need to change Iceland's name with Greenland because it isn't, in fact, green. It's pretty icy over here. And though Iceland does, in fact, have a lot of ice, they also got a lot of green too. And they certainly have a lot more green than Greenland, believe it or not. I mean, when Greenland is not just frozen over, it's just like random patches of grass and stuff. That's the most kind of green they get. Korea looks like it's hungry. Yeah, Korea, are you okay? Why are they looking like that just by the name change? I don't get that. I think they should be freaking out though, these two places. South Korea looks like he's about to do something sus. It's finally a real world with correct names. Those last two videos were by Zane and StateHuman. What's going to be really interesting for the Countryhumans going on into the future is if anyone else is going to be able to break into this. There are channels that are trying, but again, like I said, it's just so difficult because the level of animation here is actually so high. This is what I bet starts happening, and I know a lot of you are going to be horrified with this thought, but there definitely will come a time where some of the very high quality country ball channels maybe just switch over to Countryhumans because there is so much less competition in that niche compared to country balls. It's too much. The word rice in different languages, obviously in English it's rice. Rees. Nasi. Be careful with that word, Indonesia. See, it's still be getting pretty edgy out here, though. I actually have this same thought that comes in my head when I say the Spanish word I was born, nací.
Yo nací.
It's literally only one letter off, too. It always comes through my head when I think about it. But definitely don't get me started about certain words that are said in certain languages that are highly offensive in others. Because I got a whole category of them in here. Great Britain, eat your rice. Indonesia, eat your nasi. Apparently, people saying that this is not the Indian word for... Well, India's got a lot of languages. Shafal. Maybe it depends on what part of India you're coming from. This is the largest armies by numbers. India versus the UK. Obviously, it's pretty one-sided there. Greece versus Turkey. Here's India versus China. Oh, yeah. And, well, remember that numbers is not everything. Numbers are important, though. Very important. I mean, that's like one of the basic details to all warfare throughout history. Who's got the more numbers? Now, that does not ever guarantee you a win, and that has been happening for thousands of years. I mean, look at 2,500 years ago during the Battle of Thermopylae, where 300 Spartans held back the Persian military. Numbers is never the only factor, but it is an easy factor to consider. Everyone really focuses on numbers. I especially focus on numbers when talking about this subject. But then I'm reminded about how we might be living in a time where numbers are more insignificant than ever in history. Well, I'm not talking about right now, but I am talking about how as technology progresses, you know, places that have a whole lot of numbers doesn't necessarily win all the battles. I mean, the British Empire was able to conquer all of South Asia, and then the Japanese absolutely batted around China during World War II. Obviously, they were way outnumbered, but they just had better equipment, better logistics, better resources, more resources. This still very much is a really epic, this is very epic. Just the idea of these two powers going at it. Remember, India technically has more people in it. This is just how many people they have in their military right now. I do not get this reference, but this is the top comment. India, with this treasure I summon the great Himalayas. I think it's all going to come down to quantity over quality, though, clearly. Now versus World War II, we've got a Russia that's like drunk and sad. Japan that's, are you in like... Oh man, fat USA. What happened to us? Germany looking. Oh, that's basically the whole theme here is what happened to us. Yeah. You know what? This is actually a really Okay, that's a little crazy, Germany, but okay, I see you. This is a very thought-provoking one, and again, it's funny to see Countryhumans oftentimes do this when I do review. Obviously, not all of them are the most thought-provoking. Some of them are just. I don't know. But you could easily look at pretty much everyone in the world. I would say the only major example is China. China is definitely a country that in World War II, they weren't looking very good, but nowadays they're looking fantastic. But yeah, Russia fell off, Japan fell off, the USA certainly, Germany even more so. Maybe you could argue the USA hasn't really fallen off, but it depends. World War II was really the time when every country had to lock in. USSR has main character energy for real. I mean, to be fair, they kind of were the I mean, they were at least like side main character. They were like sharing main character with the USA for this time. At least. Yeah, like I said though, weird to think about all the countries that did fall off since World War II. Russia looking at their military rank on their phone, obviously number 2, ahead of China though, but where is the USA at? Oh, there's the USA. Hi. Uh-oh. This looks disturbing. Russia trying to be friends? Oh no. I don't think that's going to work out very well. Pull out don't do it, bro. Don't do it. USA's just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Oh, the twist, though. That is how you triggered this face out of us. I mean, that's the whole point. Even right now. This is the world because of the threat of the Soviet Union coming back. Essentially. Not necessarily with the same politics, just with all of this land back on the map. That's basically where all the chaos is coming from. We just don't want the Russians to get this big again, but they're trying. New classmates or new semester be like, what can't be? Oh. Wait, Israel and... Oh, do they have a really awkward class? Oh, yeah. These are all students that do not support Israel. Bro, don't come to school tomorrow. If any one of these kids reaches into his backpack weirdly, for any reason, just run. This would be an absolutely crazy classroom. Classmates, nah. Class fights, yeah. The most calm class. Just imagine getting bullied every day. Israel, why do you hate going to school so much? Also, Israel. That is how World War III starts, in a literal classroom. This is actually a perfect video to cover that was only dropped 3 weeks ago, just talking about how crazy the animation is, starting from just concept to reality. I mean, again, this is why there's only like 2 major Countryhuman channels. I feel like I'm watching like Disney or something like that create, I don't know, Snow White back in the 1940s. I don't think that date is right, but starting with this, getting to this, that's crazy. Also, what's crazy about Countryhumans is they're pumping out so many, I don't know if it's one dude or if it's multiple, but he's pumping out just so much content. Again, I just want to say that, Countryballs will probably always be popular because of the simplicity of it. Anyone can do it, but I don't know. We're living in a different world, so for a large portion of people around the globe, this might be the only thing they really know. Italian meals be like, oh, what are you doing, bro? Are you putting on... Oh, no, you're breaking... Oh, you're gonna trigger Italy so bad. Eating pizza with chopsticks? Putting ketchup on spaghetti? I've been seeing a lot of people do that. Putting... Wait, what? What is this part? Italy versus... This is putting a sandwich in a blender? Tea bag? Is that ice and beer? What? Man, they're looking so Chad here, though. I gotta say that. Oh, this is Italy with everyone else's food. I see. Using a fork for sushi, putting a tea bag. Is that fish food? I'm just curious about what's going on with this sandwich. So this is how Italy's finally gonna get their revenge on us, because they get pretty triggered when you eat their food poorly. I'm so glad that the ketchup on spaghetti got included, because that is the craziest one to me. You shouldn't have messed with the Italians. There is gonna be a breaking point at some point. Like, I don't know how much longer they're gonna be able to take us disrespecting their food like this. They might be bringing back the Roman Empire. I wouldn't be surprised. Squid Game in different countries. In South Korea, was that Kim Jong-un? Is that... Who are the pasta? Oh, so this is the most horrifying thing you can see. Wait, this is actually insane. No TikTok. Okay, this is the most horrifying thing that you can see. Wait, I just gotta make sure. Is that Kim Jong-un as a... what? Oh, look at South Korea's eye wincing. Oh, meanwhile, in Germany, they're looking at the mustache man. We had to censor his eyes out, obviously. In China, they're looking at... Oh, no. Xi Jinping lost all his hair. Can you help him find it? What? Is this like a Winnie the Pooh reference? In Italy, they're looking at just broken pasta like we covered before. Japan's looking at... What? India's just looking at math? But India's so good at math, though. And Indonesia finally... Is this a bad guy? Indonesia, you guys tell me. Finally, the Brits, they are looking at Rickroll. Oh, because, yeah, they've been Rickrolled so many times. Of course, the USA. We're gonna lose TikTok. Actually, I don't know. When was this made? A month ago? We got back TikTok. I think it's gonna get sold, probably. We're probably gonna be able to keep TikTok. The Indian and Germany was too much, I guess. She expressed the meme and issues of each country well in the fandom of Countryhuman. Countryhumans is alive and better than ever. It just doesn't stop. It does continue to get more and more popular. Oh, what's crazy about Eden here, too, is that this is an old school Countryhuman. They've been a Countryhuman channel. They've been around for 4 years. Now they're back, racking in millions of views through YouTube Shorts. That's insane. That's a whole other aspect of it. I don't think this is really going on in like Instagram Reels or TikTok. It is just a YouTube short thing. Because the Countryhuman audience was always different on YouTube. So once YouTube rolled out Shorts, it was like a perfect blend. Here's, of course, different shooting scenes. Obviously, in the USA, we just get shot. In China, they catch the bullet. In India, they get to do a little bit of dancing. Vietnam, too, with the same song. With Egypt as well. Mongolia doesn't even... I'm really sorry, everyone. North Korea just does a nuke. Yeah, I was gonna say, where's the punchline? This is the punchline, obviously. South Korea, it's gotta get pretty dramatic. Oh, why they gotta get shot by North Korea? What is it? It's gotta be so dramatic. The best car companies, the USA with Tesla, but there's gonna be VW with Germany. There's gonna be Wake Up to Reality. It's Italy, I'm assuming. It's Italy, of course, doing the dance, doing McLaren in the UK. Where's China with their EVs? Because those are really Bugatti. There's sweet. Oh, I actually don't know much about this. Oh, there we go. Okay, the Lotus. Yeah, China's really dominating the car market right now. I don't know much about Russian cars. Being able to produce like cars that are really popular around the world, I mean, it is such a flex. I mean, I didn't realize just how important it was for different countries around the world. Obviously, cars are like the second most expensive thing you can buy outside of, a home. So having successful car business is basically like, your entire economy can be like built around it. Yeah, where was like Japan and South Korea? I would like to know like a tier list of a car guy saying which cars and which countries are making the best cars currently. I mean, right now, it's funny because Tesla is on blast, especially right now, and they're feeling a lot of threat from China, so it's funny that they got put into, is that what it's called, Lotus? Anyway, State Girl is also a very popular Countryhumans channel. Again, an effect of what is happening as Countryhumans has become probably more popular than Countryballs as of the last couple months, so now we're going to see more specific versions of I mean, these are Countryhumans that are only girls, although I think there was dudes, there's boys in that last short that we saw, but usually it's country girls. Outnumbered fighting. We have the Greeks versus the Turks. The Turks went with 5,000. Wait, what is that? Oh, we're gonna have to go back to this. Ooh, Napoleon winning over China. It's interesting to see the cool thing also about, I've mentioned this before, but you can include more of like the fashion or especially like the military gear, the weapons. There is a lot of other factors that can be included when you have this median. This Countryhuman format does allow for definitely new things to be explored. It does take a lot more work though. I'm not sure what battle they're talking about here with Greece and Turkey. Turkey winning with only 5,000 versus 20,000. One down here. So this is definitely talking about the Chinese Civil War in the very beginning. This might be talking about a specific battle, but certainly the nationalist Chinese outnumbered the PRC or the communists in the very beginning. It wasn't always like this, but again, I think we're talking about just one battle. And then China versus, is that Napoleon? When was that? This might not necessarily be a Napoleonic France though. India about to end this whole man's career, 21 versus 10,000. Just because you have more doesn't mean you're not better than your opponent. That's what we've been talking about. So many examples that throughout history of like in battles where they're super outnumbered, but they still end up winning. I guess we'll see what happens to this trend in the future, but it's really not stopping, and I'm just surprised at how the snowball effect continues to take place, and it's kind of crazy. And big thanks to the people who donate to me on Patreon. I'm Drew, and I identify as an Alabamian supremacist. We're coming for you, Mississippi. Drew's Argentinian Trust Fund. Rip Grandpa. Alexander the Terrible. aPhatNarwhal. Carmel S. Connor Pavlik. Fredrik Tibblin. KingBearHaze. KirinoIsBestGirl. LuxembourgLover. The Nolan. If you'd like your name Tambre. Here, go check out that link to Patreon down below.